A thought that arrived this morning. This morning, a thought arrived without warning. Light coming from the sun. Heat felt against skin. Sound reaching the ears. Force flowing through the interior of a structure. Current flowing through a wire. Seismic waves. Even the birth and death of living things. All of these look like completely different phenomena. But are they really? Things that flow. A river flows. Current flows. Heat flows. Sound travels. Seismic waves travel. Stress travels through the interior of a structure. At first glance, these all seem like entirely separate things. But stepping back a little, one common thread appears. Something is flowing. The movement of energy. In a river, water moves. But in a wave, it is not the water that moves. It is the energy. In heat conduction, atoms barely move. Yet heat is transferred. Sound does not carry air molecules across a room. It carries vibration energy. The same is true of stress inside a structure. Concrete and steel do not travel through a building. Force and energy are simply passed along. Perhaps nature is constantly moving energy through an astonishing variety of forms. The question that Sherlock started. Looking at Sherlock, the PCB reliability analysis tool. A question came to mind. What is Sherlock actually searching for? In the end, it comes down to: where does change begin first? Where vibration repeats. Where heat concentrates. Where fatigue accumulates. Change does not appear suddenly. It appears as the result of a flow that has been building for a long time. Everything is Yeok. In Eastern philosophy, all things in the world are ultimately Yeok. Change. Flow. Becoming. That is all. A river is Yeok. Current is Yeok. Heat is Yeok. An earthquake is Yeok. The growth of life is Yeok. Birth and death are Yeok. Even thought itself is Yeok. A person is also a flow. Energy that begins in the sun. Enters plants. Enters animals. Enters people. And the human brain. Receives light. Receives sound. Receives scent. And passes signals onward. Perhaps even human consciousness is just a pattern that briefly appears within a vast flow of energy. What is HEM trying to see? Conventional analysis calculates results. Stress. Deformation. Temperature. Displacement. But HEM asks a slightly different question. Why did that place change first? What started flowing there before anything else? What kind of energy concentrated at that point? Seed, space, state. In HEM, seed is existence. Space is relationship. State is condition. And time creates change. Energy moves along seeds. And is transferred between seeds. Along the axis of time. State changes. Flow occurs. And a new state is born. That is why HEM is Yeok. HEM is not a tool for calculating structures. HEM is a frame for observing change. The universe is a distribution of energy, expressed through seed, space, and state. And it changes continuously as time moves. To watch that flow of change unfold. Perhaps that is the world HEM is trying to see. Everything is Yeok. And HEM may be a small attempt to watch Yeok unfold. The light of the sun. The flow of a river. The movement of current. The force inside a structure. Even human thought. Perhaps they are all different expressions of the same ongoing change. Perhaps the universe itself is a vast flow of Yeok. And HEM may simply be a small window through which we watch it unfold.